Hello, I'm Supervisor Don Knabe, and I'm pleased to welcome you back to another episode of Dialed In. The days are longer, the temperatures are rising. In Los Angeles County, that only means one thing. Summer is here, and it's time to head to the beaches. Los Angeles County is home to over 20 beaches, stretching over 25 miles of coastline, including one of the world's largest man-made harbors, Marina del Rey. With over 50 million annual visitors to our beaches, Los Angeles County has a big responsibility to not only keep our coast clean, but our beachgoers safe. So that's where our Department of Beaches and Harbors and our wonderful Los Angeles County lifeguards come in. I'm pleased today to welcome our newly appointed Director of Beaches and Harbors and one of our rescue boat captains from our lifeguards to share how Los Angeles County is helping you have the best summer possible at the beach. I hope you enjoy the show. Hi, welcome back to Dial In. I'm here with Gary Jones, the director of our county's beaches and harbors. Gary was recently named the director of the department after serving as the interim for 8 months. He previously was deputy director. He has an extensive experience in real estate, development, and urban planning. Prior to joining us in Los Angeles County, he worked at the city of San Diego. Gary, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Supervisor.
And first of all, congratulations on your new position.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. I mean, you had the interim, you're almost there, but you had that final step, and the board unanimously approved your appointment. We welcome you aboard. There was another big piece in your life all about the same time. Just before you became director, what else happened?
I was very honored to finally become a U.S. citizen. It was a very nice occasion, and so I'm very proud to say now I'm a citizen of.
Well, we want to welcome you as a citizen of the United States of America, and I think that's great, and to have you as our Director of Beaches and Harbors. Well, a lot of folks out there don't know, but from Malibu to San Pedro and as close as you can get to Orange County, we have over 25 miles of coastline that we oversee, and your department oversees. What kind of services, so let our viewers know, what kind of services does Beaches and Harbors provide that coastline?
Well, the department provides year-round cleaning services to the beaches, make sure the beaches are clean for everybody that comes to enjoy the beautiful coastline along the county beaches, service the restrooms and provide programs to enable people to enjoy the beaches in so many different ways.
Well, give us an idea of some of the programs. People don't know about the hang gliding. I mean, there's a lot of things that go on in different parts of the beaches throughout the county and through that 25 miles of coastline. Give us some, you have roller skate rental, all the kinds of things. It's a huge operation.
It is, and as you said, it covers a wide area of beach, and there's something for everybody. There's bike trails. We have at the Dockweiler Youth Center many programs available there, shoreline fishing, fitness programs in the marina. We have programs for children during the summer holidays, and similar events year-round now.
Well, and you do, and some of these people are contracts. They contract with the county to provide these services. And there's like a hang gliding, not hang gliding, but what is that gliding thing that they do out there off of Torrance Beach?
They do the hang gliding off of that location, and we permit that, and it's been around for many, many years and still very popular.
Now, do you or the lifeguards oversee the junior lifeguard program?
The lifeguards oversee that junior program. We do use lifeguards for programs that we provide or want to now provide in the marina for sailing camps and summer programs as well. So we have a close relationship working with the lifeguards on a number of different programs.
And then one of the programs that's very special to me that I think a lot of people don't realize that you do, or the opportunity, and that is for those that are physically challenged, particularly with wheelchair-bound kinds of situations. We bring patients out from Rancho, Los Amigos,
right,
our hospital, to be able to access the beach. You have, just so people know out there, you have these very special chairs that they can transfer from the wheelchair, and they're able to, they're like big wheels, right? Maybe you could describe them.
Yes, they're essentially wheelchairs that can traverse the sand and get people to the ocean so they can enjoy the water. The department's facility staff make sure that those chairs are available in good working order and available when somebody with a physically challenged person wants to enjoy what we have to along the coast.
Well, I'll never forget the faces of the young people from Rancho that go out there, and these chairs, ladies and gentlemen, these tires are like huge. I mean, if you ever try to push a wheelchair, you physically can't do it. It's almost impossible because it sinks. But these tires are big, and it's a very comfortable chair for them. But to see these patients, and many of them, have no feeling from the waist down, but the water comes up on them, and whether they can feel it or not, it's that enjoyment. So it's an incredible opportunity. But one of the many things that you do out there on the beaches. We have 50 plus million visitors a year. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
And some of the confusion, I think, sometimes the people, some are city-owned, some are state-owned. Maybe you could explain the difference.
That is correct. There are a number of beaches that the county does own that were before that state-owned beaches. There are beaches that the county also operates on behalf of local cities or on behalf of the state. Part of the department's job is to ensure that there's a seamless provision of services, so we work very closely with the cities and with the state to ensure that we are serving the constituents that want to use those beaches.
Well, you do an incredible job. One of the most important things about beaches, in addition to safety, and we'll be talking to the lifeguards later, is the fact of clean beaches and the maintenance of not only the beaches, but the restroom facilities are very, very important, and your folks do a big job, and they're gearing up for the summer, which is obviously your heavy traffic. The other big thing out there, obviously, to me, I always call it the crown jewel of Los Angeles County because it's probably our #1 revenue producer, and that's Marina Del Rey. Maybe you can give us some comments about that. We're going through a visioning process. Maybe you can talk a little bit about the operational piece from the real estate, the planning, the leases, the underlying, just sort of give us a rundown of what's going on in Marina Del Rey.
Well, one of the other important purposes of the department is to be the county's administrator of the land in Marina Del Rey. We have a number of people that call Marina Del Rey home, and they're living in apartments that are leased to the apartment operators by the county. It's the role of the department to ensure that those leaseholds are renovated and redeveloped, and we're seeing a huge change in Marina Del Rey in terms of the revitalization that's occurring on those leaseholds. We're also responsible for managing the county land, including the parks within Marina Del Rey, and that's some of the areas where the department provides programs that I mentioned earlier, the summer programs at Chase Park for kids when they're off school, walking clubs, fitness programs, rental of sailboats, paddles, etc. So it's really a vibrant community, and
you got some of the university. Is it UCLA or both UCLA and USC, or who's out there on the paddle boats?
Every morning you will see the crews from UCLA, from LMU, training early in the morning when the water is usually the calmest, and the crews are training along the main channel in the harbor.
Well, it's a beautiful sight to see them out there in the mixture of the boats. We oversee the docks as well, obviously from the leaseholds. But I think for everyone's edification, the county owns all that land, and what's on top of the land is leased to various operators and purveyors of those facilities. But your responsibility is to make sure the docks are in place and everything's in good working order. And we have restaurants and that also come under the purview of the county out there. So, great job. Obviously out there's been a big transition, like you say, not only Marina Del Rey, but in the surrounding area, sort of the new Silicon Beach. We call it the Silicon Beach out there, with a lot of high-tech companies and people moving into the area. How's the department adapting to that?
Well, as you say, a lot of the change has been that the younger generation, the tech workers that are attracted to the area, wanting to live by the water. We're seeing a change in how people want to enjoy the harbor, a lot more active participation we're seeing in the harbor on a daily basis, stand-up paddle boards, kayaking, people wanting to enjoy the harbor, walking around it, and then enjoy the the docks have to offer with regards to the boating and the yacht clubs and sailing
Restaurants,
grounds and
yeah.
restaurants, and that it really is a vibrant community.
Well, the other big thing going out there, happy 50th next year, right? 50 years for Marina Del Rey.
That's right.
What do you have planned?
Well, we want to mark the 50th throughout the year with a series of events. We have events typically throughout the year in Marina Del Rey, and we want to use the opportunity to celebrate the 50th, let people know where Marina Del Rey is in terms of what it has to offer now, and look forward to the future. We are planning tours of the harbour on the water to provide a historical tour and an ability to people to understand how the harbour was developed, how it came to be. And there's a lot of information that is available that's been kept by local historians and the department.
They've done a pretty good job in
county.
the history out there with
They
the
have.
library and
They
people
have.
that Greg and some of the others have done a great job out there accumulating. Well, we're going to get the big yellow ducky, rubber ducky, and we're going to get that in.
We are planning some surprises, and
Oh, you can't tell me yet. Okay.
That's right.
I only represent them. Don't tell me. Don't surprise me. So, but I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, you know, you might tell the folks about the annual fireworks show. Obviously, it might probably be bigger and better for the 50th, but
That's right. Yeah.
4th of July, right?
Yes, we want to use those opportunities, the 4th of July fireworks, the holiday boat parade that takes place.
Every
the
Christmas, yeah,
holidays,
every holiday.
Every opportunity that we can, make them bigger, better events to spend some time celebrating the 50th and draw attention to everything that is happening.
So summer's coming. You know, we're sort of wrap this thing up, but I mean, summer's coming. There's a lot of things going on, like you say, as we go into next year. What about the shuttle service by water, the water taxi?
Our shuttle service will be starting at the beginning of summer. It will offer now more opportunity for stops throughout the marina. We're looking to expand the days that it's in operation, and it's been supported by increasing numbers year on year.
So you can park one place and take that and go to
that's
different
right.
parts of the marina, right?
Enjoy a summer concert at Burton Chase Park. Get on the
Concerts in
water
the park,
bus and
that's
back
exactly.
to your.
There's
to
no
your
better
car.
venue, I think, in Los Angeles County to watch one of those summer concerts than sitting there overlooking the ocean.
That's right.
Right there in
Just
Marina
a
Del Rey.
Perfect evening.
Well, listen, Gary, congratulations, one, on becoming the director. Congratulations on becoming a U.S. citizen. More importantly, you have a big job out there. We appreciate what you do. The summer's coming. Any final words for the folks about enjoying Marina Del Rey and our beaches?
Just come to the beaches, come to Marina Del Rey, enjoy what we have to offer. You'll find clean beaches, a wonderful community in Marina Del Rey that will welcome you, and a department with the Beaches and Harbors folks that is looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you. Gary Jones, our Director of Beaches and Harbors in Los Angeles County. Thank you again for taking the time to be with us today, and have a great summer. And we look forward to seeing you soon. So we'll be right back. Thank you.
When a child is born, it should be the happiest time in one's life. But for some, it's just too difficult to handle. Think before you do the unthinkable. There is an option. Don't abandon your baby.
Welcome back to Dial In. My next guest is Steve Powell, a rescue boat captain and the immediate past president of the Los Angeles County Lifeguard Association. Steve has been a lifeguard for 27 years and now works alongside of a group of over 650 incredible lifeguards who patrol our beaches 365 days a year. Thanks for joining us, Steve.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So here we are, looking forward. I'm seeing the weather's changing, the summer's coming. What are we looking for crowd-wise, do you think, this year?
Well, it's kind of the inside joke is that the weather hasn't changed too much. We've had such a hot winter that the crowds have been very large this year. But summer's coming and the crowds will increase. The weather's going to be nice. We've had a lot of swell activity, so the ocean conditions have been rough. A lot of inshore holes have been created, so we're expecting a great year with millions of people down at the beaches this summer.
How many lifeguard stations do we have up and down that you guys oversee?
When we at peak staffing in the middle of summer, we have about 150, roughly 150, and so it runs like a bell curve. In the middle of summer, we'll have all of our stations open, and then off season, we'll go down to a minimum staffing to when the crowds are light. So at peak summer, approximately 150 stations.
And the headquarter areas are?
We've got 3 on the mainland here. We've got Hermosa Beach for the southern section. We've got Santa Monica, and then we have a station up at Zuma. Those are the 3 primary headquarters.
And the northernmost beach that you guys oversee?
Is Nicholas Canyon up in the north end of Malibu.
All right. And the southern end?
Is Cabrillo Beach, San Pedro, and 60 miles or approximately in between.
So I hear one of the sayings is that lifeguard says they never turn their back in the water. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. From the day you become a lifeguard till the day you leave, your eyes are supposed to be forward when you're on duty, and from the minute you get on shift to the minute you're after, to the minute the day is over, because you never know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen. So,
And I notice in lifeguard towers, there's no windows in the back part of
no,
it.
there's no windows in the
There's
back.
no
Very
windows.
good
There's
observation,
no windows
yeah.
in the lifeguard
No,
tower in the
no.
back, right?
That's right. That's right.
So what kind of equipment does the average lifeguard use each day, or the kind of equipment available to them for serious rescues or non-serious? What kind of equipment they have maybe in a tower?
Well, the primary piece of equipment that every lifeguard will carry is what's called the rescue can. You've probably seen it. It's the red rescue can with the handles on it that can carry 5 to 7 victims at one time. The lifeguards are taught to never leave their station without that can with them at all times. When the lifeguard is in the tower, the can will be hanging on a hook at the tower, identifying that the lifeguard is there. When the lifeguards are on foot patrol or out making a rescue, they'll have the can with them. So if somebody's looking for the lifeguard, if they're not in the station, they should be holding that can over their head. That's the primary piece of equipment for making rescues.
So what does a piece like that weigh?
Probably about 4 or 5 pounds. It's plastic. It's about, I'd say about this big, and lifeguards carry it around, and it has a strap that will strap over your shoulder, so you throw it behind you and you go make your rescue. That's the primary piece of equipment.
Well, maybe some inside gossip movie stuff. Did David Hasselhoff really use a real one?
They say he did. The old days, he had some consultants there to help him that were actual lifeguards, so they probably taught him some actual techniques. Knew that was going to come up.
I know, yeah. You couldn't resist, you know. I mean, you got here in your beautiful uniform. You don't have your red shorts on. It's all cool. So how many rescues probably throughout a year? I mean, not just the summer, maybe throughout the year, or you could break it down maybe percentage-wise that do the lifeguards perform?
The rough average number is about 10,000 per year. And some years it's as many.
10,000?
10,000, yeah. Those are hands-on actual rescues, whether they be rescues made by boat, whether they're lifeguards swimming out and making swimming rescues, using paddle boards, using inflatable rescue boats, or using personal watercraft. It's about 10,000. Some years as many as 14,000, some years as low as 7,000 or 8,000, but that number of 10,000 is accurate.
So that's like spread over the year. Majority of those during the summer.
The majority are during the summer. We do make a lot during the spring as well, and then during the winter less. Some of our most dramatic rescues are during the winter, but during the summer you could have individual days where they'll make many, many hundreds of rescues throughout the county. I think there's a record of close to 1,000 in one day.
Wow. What kind of training do lifeguards have to go through? I mean, everybody sees them with the white stuff on their nose. And
No, we don't allow white stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody's got
Yeah.
tan. I mean, and it's pretty significant. I think the people should know that.
Yeah, well, most of our people start off as they're fresh out of high school or in college swimming programs, and there's basically a swim test that you take, and they'll take say the first 40 or 50 people, however many lifeguards they feel they're going to have to hire that year. So the swimming competition is extremely challenging. You've got swimmers from all over the place. So most of our lifeguards,
Is it a timed issue?
it's basically a 1,000-meter swim. So it's a race is what it is, more than a timing issue. So you have to race other people for the job. So if they'll take 40 or 50 people, most of our people are very highly competitive swimmers. They swim in college. So that's obviously the main skill set we're looking for is swimming. After that, you go through a 4-week lifeguard academy where you learn to recognize rescues, you learn to recognize ocean conditions, you learn to perform first aids, you learn to work with the other equipment we have, such as paddle boards, learn to don swim fins, learn to make boat rescues in the surf, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it takes about 4 weeks. Then you're placed on the beach, supervised by another lifeguard to learn how to do it and make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to do.
Well, I think people also don't know. We talked about the beaches, but we have another part of Los Angeles County that a lot of people don't. I'm one of the few elected officials in America that have, I think, that represent an island. And that's Catalina Island. Maybe you can tell us what your responsibilities are, not only at Avalon itself, but down at Two Harbors.
Sure. We have 2 crews on duty each day on Catalina Island that work, that have a rescue boat and squad on each end of the island, and they're responsible for all marine-based rescue, boat rescue. They're responsible for all paramedic responsibilities both on land and at sea. We're responsible for scuba diver rescue and treatment with the hyperbaric chamber at the Isthmus. We handle all marine fires, all that type of thing. In the city of Avalon, they are the contracted paramedics for the city of Avalon as well. We also run a seasonal beach lifeguard service. We supervise that for the beaches of Avalon as well. So kind of a little bit of a jack of all trades out there. So
Do they obviously they probably go through special training to do the hyperbaric and the dive rescues?
yeah, correct. All of our people over there are advanced scuba divers that have gone through scuba rescue operations at the department. The captains are boat operators they're veteran boat operators with the county. Everybody assigned over there also has a paramedic license and is an experienced paramedic. And we also go through the chamber. It's called Emergency Dive Accident Management course at the chamber, which is a week-long course. All of our people have been through the search and rescue program with the sheriff's department over there. So there's a lot of other skills that you learn for that part of the job and for other assignments we have within the county.
Well, we have search and rescue teams over there, a lot of volunteers,
Yeah.
fire departments, county. Are you guys part of that as well?
Yes, we are. The interesting thing about Catalina, and I'm assigned to Catalina, is that you have, because it's a remote location, you have us and you have the harbor department, you have the sheriff's department, you have the city fire department, you have a lot of agencies that work together, especially on something that's a search and rescue operation. Everybody is a volunteer and they participate in the drills, so when something happens, everybody bands together and is able to perform.
Well, let's talk about ocean safety. We recently, on the news, was a very tragic incident at a beach down in Orange County with a young high school student. Obviously, the teenager thinks they're invincible. How does someone either recognize or escape a riptide?
Well, if you're in a riptide and you feel yourself getting pulled away from shore, and that's the feeling you'll feel as you feel yourself getting pulled away and you're getting into deeper and deeper water and you're going to have trouble getting in, what you need to do is swim laterally to shore. So you swim parallel to the beach and then you get out of the riptide, because the riptide is a channel. It's caused by channels on the bottom where the water is flowing out to sea because water's trying to find its equilibrium. So all you have to simply do is swim out of that area, and then you'll be out of the riptide, and then you can easily swim in. What we try to tell people is before you even go into the water, it's important that you check in with the local lifeguard in front of an open lifeguard station. Ask him where the safe areas to swim are, because he will guide you away from the riptides. They'll have the riptides identified and they'll show you don't swim here, don't swim here. Our lifeguards try to move people out of those riptide areas before they get into trouble.
Don't you even put flags on the beach?
Right. We'll have a flagged area in front of the lifeguard station that is marked as a designated safe area, the safest area there. So that's a safe place to swim. But we also encourage, if you have any questions, go and talk to the lifeguard. He'll tell you where to go.
And the other piece of that, I mean, obviously it's easy for me to sit here and talk to you about it, but the whole being able to swim laterally to the beach to maintain that is not to panic.
It's not, don't panic, don't panic. You're going to get into deeper water and you need to sit there and you need to swim parallel to shore. Also, what we ask everybody to swim near a lifeguard, our lifeguards are going to recognize that. They're trained to recognize riptides, they're trained to recognize when people are in riptides, and they're going to come get you. They're not going to wait. But if you find yourself in a situation like that, don't panic, just stay afloat and swim parallel to shore and you'll be out of it.
So what are some basic rules that beachgoers should use this summer?
Check in with the lifeguard. Rule number 1, go find an open lifeguard station to set up with your family. Go talk to the lifeguard, identify where the safe areas to swim are. Make sure you bring plenty of sunscreen. It gets hot. People get sunburned and they don't even know it till the end of the day. Lots of water, stay hydrated, enjoy yourself at the beach, and please leave your dogs and alcohol at home.
Please leave your dogs and alcohol at home. Right. Good advice for that. But I mean, I think another important piece of that when you say check in is that some people have a tendency they think they're going to get away from the crowds, but they move farther away from a lifeguard tower. That's
Yes.
not recommended.
It's not recommended. And during the summer, we'll have all of our lifeguard stations will be open, so it's less of an issue. In the spring and in the fall, when we have less crowds, we'll have less stations open. But we do recommend you go and swim and surf in front of an open lifeguard station.
So I asked you a question about David Hasselhoff, so I got to ask you a question. Do the folks need to worry about sharks at our beaches?
We've never had a shark attack in LA County beaches. There's been a lot of media attention recently on sharks, and we brought in some experts to try to figure out why there's more sightings of sharks, whether it's just because the technology is getting better, whether there's migration patterns. But at this point, there's been some shark sightings that make news media, but there's never been a documented case of a shark attack in LA County. So you're safe from sharks. Sharks are the least of the problems you're gonna have down the beach.
And probably the most important part's common sense.
Common sense. Common sense. Enjoy yourself. The beaches are a great resource for LA County, and we want everybody to come down and have a great time. Please check in with the lifeguard, and he'll help you enjoy your day.
Well, Steve, I really appreciate you taking the time. My passion for all of you guys, and the men and women of our lifeguards are just probably the best in the world. And your international competitions on skill levels, we know what you do there to win those things, but for us, the benefit is the citizens, the 50 million plus visitors that go to our beaches every year. So my hat's off to you and your team, and great and happy and healthy and a safe summer for everyone.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
You can never know which pool safety step will save a life. Until it does. No matter how safe you feel, adding multiple safety steps can mean the difference between a close call and a call to 911. Simple steps save lives. To learn some new ones, visit poolsafely.gov.
Thank you again for tuning in to Dialed In. I want to thank our guests, Gary Jones and Steve Powell, for taking the time to join me today. Summer is a great time to be in Los Angeles County. From surfing to boating to laying out in the sun, there are so many great and fun things to enjoy at all of our 20 beaches here in Los Angeles County. I'd like to thank all of our hardworking folks at the Department of Beaches and Harbors and our incredible lifeguards for all that they do to keep our shores clean, safe, and enjoyable. Have a great time at the beach this summer. Just make sure to wear lots of sunscreen. Thank you again for tuning in to Dialed In. We'll be back next month with an all-new show.